Okay, so we are live. I'll just wait a few seconds for audience to join in. Just a few seconds.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's start now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's author interview with our author, Adepoju Olaoluwa Itunu, about his book, Desire Play. So, without further ado, I am just going to give it up to him so that he can introduce himself and his book.
Hello, everyone. I am Adepoju Olaoluwa Itunu. I'm the CEO of Olaoluwa Consult and CEO of Fitness Emperor. So, about my book, Desire Play, it is well known, I'm a contemporary romance writer. So, I'm a contemporary romance author. So, I write based on stories that real life stories that are around me, stories that are presently happening around me.
Mm-hmm.
So Desire Play is a story that I wrote due to past traumas and the present one I'm going through, and decisions I've made during the time of my difficulties, and I've been able to live by my decisions. That's what Desire Play is all about. The character in Desire Play, Alex, it is me. My name is Alex, and I represent the male character in the novel, which was actually literally to be meant to be the prince, because I'm a prince in my country, so it's meant to be the prince.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, that's great. I mean, if you read the book, and I would urge the audience to pick it up, I will be posting a link for the book as well. You will see the characters and like the plot itself go through so many things that we relate to in our everyday lives. Even though we are people from all over the world, but we all go through certain things that we can relate to, or some things that are quite similar to our lives as well. So on that point, because the character itself is I mean, you relate to him, it represents you in a way. So can you tell us like your history with writing? Like when did you start writing? Not just this book, but in general, like have you always had a passion for writing, or is it something that came up now?
Okay, about writing, I'm not much of a writer. When I was small, I like reading stories, I like reading novels. So I used to read a lot of novels. But it has never come to me that I'll be a writer, or have I be interested in writing.
Mm-hmm.
Over the years, I've been through a lot of things, being popular, being a what's it called, international level swimmer, being a what's it called. You see, I get to manage a lot of people, I get to see a lot of betrayal, I get to face a lot of issues. So
Mm-hmm.
I try to live on my own, and at the end of everything, I don't have anyone to talk to. So I decided to always put up my book,
Mm-hmm.
pick my pen, and talk to my book. So as time goes on, I developed this habit, and I keep writing. I could not stop. I could not control myself from writing. Then before you know, I'm already done with the novel. Before you know, I'm already done with the novel. My debut novel was a Christian novel, and which is Buddha and Iota of Hatred. Then I released another debut novel, which was The Endless Relation of Love, which talks about my family life, the relationship between me and my family, and how I left my country to another country, and how I've been living after I left. That's what The Endless Relation of Love was all about. So, like, writing novel was never an option for me. Like, I've never thought of it. Like, I'll be writing in the nearest future. Just came up year 2019. Came up year 2019. I've been writing poems. I used to write poems and quotes back since 2016, 2015. Then 2019, I decided to publish my first novel because I wrote the novel I've been writing, and I brought everything together and make it a novel. I decided to publish it 2019. And by the end of 2019, I submitted it to publication companies, and early January 2020, it was published. So on and so forth. And so many other novels I've written started getting published at then. So writing novel has never been, has never been my my passion, but now it is my passion. It is what I earn for and what I gain for what I want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I completely understand that sometimes there are just so many feelings inside of you and you want to share it with something, and people do that by writing, and that is something that you did and you decided to share with the world. So talking about the book itself, can you tell the audience what the book is about in a little more detail than you have, like, and about the characters, Alex and Ruby?
Okay, so about Alex and Ruby.
Mhm.
Um, it's a little bit tricky. Alex and Ruby. Ruby was a girl which I met when I was very small. Like I was very small, still living with my parents. We had a lot of restrictions. As a prince in Nigeria, you had to learn a lot of things. You have to be more perfect than anybody. You have to follow the family legacy. You have to do a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
Though I didn't put it in the novel directly as a prince, I do represent the wealthy family. But that is how it was as a prince. So, that situation where I met Ruby, like she was passing through a lot of pain. I wanted to help her, like I wanted to be somebody that can be there for her always at any time. I wanted to be somebody who offers, give all the kind of ideas to her. So Ruby was kind of my soulmate. And like she was kind of my soulmate. So we passed through a lot of histories together and we went through a lot of things together. So literally, my decision regarding to Ruby, most of my decisions were made in confidence in relation to Ruby, because without her, most of those decisions I've made wouldn't have been possible. Those decisions in the novel wouldn't have been possible. So with her, things started getting smooth. I started having a lot of beliefs. It was strange. Our meeting was totally strange. We met in an hospital and she was sick. And when I was leaving the hospital, she was, what's it called? She was being attended to and I could hear her screaming. So it was, when we met again, it was so accidental. So that was it about Ruby. And the story between me and Ruby doesn't just end in Desire Play. Does not just end Desire Play, it still has continuation, which I'm trying to put into another novel to what's it called, to explain it more about it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, it is pretty clear that in the book also, Ruby is such a big part of Alex's life, like she was in your life. And I mean, it is very much a book about your life itself. And there are other characters who were
Yes.
also very important to him, like his best friend and Helena and Natty. So, I mean, talk to me about these
Yes.
people. Who are these also the people who are like, inspired by people in your lives?
Yeah, I would say that. I would say that they are the people that are inspired in life. Actually in life, I like reality. I face reality. No matter how much motivated I am, I still want to face the reality.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just come like a glimpse of hope and they leave. This
Yeah.
is how life is. People come and go. So these people, this set of people that were my best friend, those characters, they have been a great impact to my life. They are like, especially my best friend, the guy also, at the beginning of the novel, if you remember, I said at the beginning of the novel, he came to my house, was the one that gives me the confidence to be able to tell my parents I'm going for a party. My parent does not give us a lot of what's it called? It did not give us a lot of freedom. So he was the one who made my parents be able to release me. I know when the accident happened, my parents were condemning him, but he also was what's it called? He was also injured. Was also injured. So those people, they really play a very big role and impact in my life. And till now, I'm still really, 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 I still have a very good memory about them, and I'm really grateful to them because no matter who it is, no matter how anybody lives, they make an impact in my life, either good or bad. The good gives me a lot of a lot of memories, a lot of opportunities, a lot of knowledge. So as the bad ones, the two, they give me a lot of knowledge and it increased my ability to be able to adapt to others. Being so emotional, you have to adapt with others, be able to live with others. So that's the situation with those those three.
Right, right. And also like you say that, you know, the book, like the story in the book didn't just end with desire play. And I think that's also very much said in the epilogue, where Alex, you know, he talks to Ruby that, you know, I mean, you are gone, but there are so many things that you've taught me, and then how precious you are to my heart. And I feel, I personally really like that epilogue. I thought that it was beautiful, and that it made just everything, all the pain that you go through while reading the book, so much worth it. So like,
Yes.
yeah, I mean, and talking about that, I mean, you have also put in so many themes. So there's obviously Alex, and you know, his parents' disapproval, especially his father's disapproval for, you know, for everything that he's doing and all the things that he's going through. Then there's Helena and Natty with their own issues in their lives. With Natty also has her own individuality, her own sexuality to, you know,
Yes.
explore. That's there. And then majorly there's Ruby with her cancer. So I mean, when you were writing these things, but like, was it hard for you to like pen these things down? Because I mean, these are certain things that people have also seen in their lives, and it is quite difficult to go through these things, obviously. And obviously you have written this book based on your life. So tell me about that.
Okay, so I'm a very emotional person. When I'm writing, I literally cry most of the time.
Oh, okay.
So one of my novels, like when I was writing it during lockdown, I was literally crying. I could not undo it. I had to stop the novel and take a while to face the reality, then go back to the. So many of my novels, no matter what it is, in as much as it is what is currently happening or what has happened in the past, the pain, the emotions are still there. So I work with the mood I am to write my novel. It gives me the ability to be able to put the emotions on the on what's it called, on the book, on the novel. It gives me the ability to be able to understand what the emotion is. In the world of literature it's something in general. We have fiction, we have non-fiction, we have a lot of things. But you know, little of their life story. And these life stories can help others because when they learn to undo people, they can help others. Like my dad, as you said, that is how he is disapproving anything. I don't know why. I used to ask if I had not his son, you know, in that novel, you could see that the parents, they act as if, even the mother has said to be so kind-hearted, gentle, and lovely with their kids. But you could see the reactions of both the mother and the father in the novel. They were so distant. They were so distant, apart from the junior ones, the junior sister. And, you know, until what's it called, until he came back, Gina was, they were not in good times until he came back from the hospital. So the kind of relationship the family has created, I think it has impact on me. Like the kind of relationship the family creates. You know, if I cannot relate to my father, if I cannot relate with my mother, like I'm going to be sad, yeah, because nobody to talk to. I'm going to be sad. My parents, they all want me to be the best. If I become second, I'm going to be a soup. So, you know, the family is so cold, so
Mm-hmm.
cold. So it has a traumatical effect on me. So
Mm-hmm.
that those effects actually result to me writing those novels. So the father disapproving and everything, yeah, that is how he is. He did a lot of disapproval.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
did a lot of disapproval. That is why I said that's why the novel is desirable. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had my desire,
Mm-hmm.
but it was being played with. It was being played with. It did not agree anything. Then I have to be independent on my own. You know, the result of making a lot of decisions. Some are good, some are not good. Some have bad results, some
Right,
have good
right.
results. Yes. So that's the situation we are.
Okay. Well, Adepoju, your video is breaking up a little. So can you just also talk about like the expectations of parents and how that makes you feel? and why you decided to name it Desire Play once more, just so our audience is caught up a little bit.
Okay, so about the fear of parents on like about the parent aspect, I think parents should be more closer to their children. Like they should take their children as their friend, like take them as your best friend so that you can be able to communicate with them. Children nowadays are passing through a lot of things. They can't tell anybody because they are scared of their parents, because when they tell their parents is going to shout at them, scold them, and when they tell their friends are going to make jest of them, gossip about them. So you are scared of telling anyone. It leads to depression. It leads to a lot of things. So parents should try to create more space, more time, more attention to the children. It is needed. Like everything cannot be solved with scolding, with shouting, with restrictions, with like give them the freedom, but always try to inculcate the right ideas to them so that they know what is right from what is wrong, and you teach them what it is needed to be done. So we don't have to disapprove everything they do. We don't have to make their life so hard. We don't have to, because being rich, I have these things. The less privileged used to say, I wish I was rich. The rich used to say, I wish I was less privileged, because being in a rich family from a rich home, a lot of challenges, a lot of difficulties, a lot of restrictions, a lot of rules. You have a lot to do. You have a lot of responsibility. So that is that about that. And why I named the novel Desire Play was, it was my desire.
Right.
It was my desire. And it was being played with, not just by my parents, but, by everybody. Like, they don't tend to want to hear, they don't tend to want to listen. That's why I made the novel Desire Play. I've been planning to write the novel since the year 2019. I started it early 2019.
Right.
I finished I finished half of the novel. I finished half of the novel 2020 around June, July.
Okay.
Then it was so emotional. I could not undo it. Then I stopped writing for a while. I wrote another novel. And after writing another novel, then I finally came back and write the novel. In fact, the novel was supposed to be, in a complicated world of chaos. Like, it was supposed to be a very, very romantic novel, a very, very, a novel that talks about love, which that's why I'm writing the second edition of the novel, which it is not Desire Play this time. It's going to be called Word of Love, and I'm still going to be publishing with Ukiyoto this time also.
Okay. That's great. Like we'll talk about the second book later on, but before that, like you mentioned, like you talk about such heavy topics, and like I mean, the whole part of expectations that parents put on their children, that definitely it puts a pressure on them, right? It sometimes they get depressed because of it. So these are such heavy themes, and that paralleled with Ruby's cancer, and you wrote this book during the lockdown. So was it hard for you to like put it down, where like the world was going through a pandemic, still is, and you had to write something so painful, like so beautifully but so painful? So what was that like?
Actually, that was like, during the lockdown, I was literally alone. Like, being alone, nothing, like, there was a lot of time to write. That is what I want. Most writers, what they seek for is a lot of time to be able to write. But not just the time, you must be emotionally ready. I was not emotionally ready. It was really difficult. I told you I stopped the novel around June, then I picked it up later because it was so difficult to continue. Then I had to put up the spirit of switching among novels. I have to switch among novels so that I will be able to balance my emotions. I won't get too high, like I won't get too emotional, because sometimes I'm writing.
Your video is breaking up.
If I show you the book I wrote,
Can you repeat that? Your video is breaking up. Can you repeat
is it
that?
okay now?
Yeah.
So I said it is you know, it was indeed very, very difficult to put down during the lockdown because the world was passing through a lot of things. Me personally, during that time, I was passing through a lot of things. It has impact on me, it has impact on my business, it has impact on everything, it has impact on my education. So I was also going through a lot of things back then. It was difficult for me to put down, but I did my best to put it down because there's somebody out there that needs to hear that story. That story is going to help them. They need to see, they need to learn how to make decisions. There are some parents that need to see what my parents has turned me to. Parents needs to see what my parents has turned me to, and they should not let in the same path for their children. They should not follow the same ways my own parents has taken. So that is that for that, because during that time it was really difficult to write. It was so difficult. It was so difficult. There was nobody to talk to day and night. I'm on the novel, you know. It was really difficult. But yeah, I really thank God for the successful finishing of the novel. It was a very big one for me.
Yeah, and also because it's a big book, right? I mean, it's not small. It has like 13 chapters, like big chapters. So I completely understand that, and especially like, you know, while you were already in pain while writing it, so that must have definitely been something very difficult to go through. So can you like give some tips to aspiring authors? Because, you know, a lot of people are trying to write during the pandemic, and it definitely gets difficult. So it's always really nice to hear it from someone who did it and got published. So
For authors, I think determination is not just the thing. As for me, I'm not somebody that listens to motivation words because I don't believe they are true. I believe in reality, what I see, like what's going to happen, what I expect to happen. Like this is reality for me. So as for authors, like, it is very, very, very compulsory that you are emotionally ready when you are writing any book, when you are going through pains. You have to be ready to face what you are going to start. You have to be ready to finish what you are going to start. You have to have that determination. You have to have that persistence. You have to have that, what's it called, that mindset that once you start it, you have to finish it. It's going to be difficult. It's not going to be easy. Nothing was made to be easy. If it was made to be easy, then this world wouldn't be this world. Nothing was made to be easy for anyone. You are made to go through a lot of things. That is what the word is called, the word. So you have to go through things, and you have to, when you're writing, you have to understand that what you're going through is an opportunity to be able to assist somebody else. So you have to try your best. The more time you waste, the more time other people are going to be suffering, because that thing you're writing can help thousands of people out there, can help thousands of people realize what they've been doing wrong, thousands of people to learn how to overcome a lot of things, thousands of people out there. So the more time you waste, the more time people get out. So you have to pick up the pen, write your book, face the reality. It may be difficult. It's not going to be easy. Yeah, it's never going to be easy, but you have to still face it. Try your best and write it. No matter how painful it is, just take a calm, be emotionally ready. That is the most important one. You have to be emotionally ready. It is not going to be easy. If you are not emotionally ready, no matter your persistence, no matter your determination, no matter how good you are, the novel will never be completed, because you have to be so emotionally ready. And if you're a writer, and during that time you want to write, you have to create a space for yourself, a space to understand yourself better, because people might frustrate you during that time. You know, we all have difficult times, you know, and people are also in difficult times. You have to understand them. The way they talk to you, you might not be in appreciation of it, and they too, they might not be in appreciation of it. So you have to understand that we are all passing through the same things. We are all human beings, and we have to understand each other. So you have to be emotionally prepared for whatever you are going to do. Once you're emotionally prepared for whatever you are going to do, yeah, it's going to be a success. It's going to be a success.
yeah. Yeah, and that's a really beautiful way of putting it, that, you know, I mean, the things that you're writing that could, you know, change lives of so many people. It can bring comfort to so many people. So I think that's a beautiful way of putting it, and thank you for giving that advice to our authors. Speaking about that, speaking about like just your books, comforting so many people. What about the people in your lives? How did they receive this book? What did they think about this book?
Okay, my mom was, when my mom saw the book,
Mm-hmm.
she called me and she was apologizing.
Oh, okay.
When my dad saw the book, he felt so sad that he was unable to face me till now.
Mm-hmm.
But they did not know what I've passed through. They only knew that I was a strong boy and I tried to be strong on my own. I don't try to tell them things. That's all they know. But they have not realized what they've done. They've always thought what they did was a good thing and they've never taken a bad thing. So when they saw the novel, they were like this. And many people around me haven't read the novel yet. Many people around me haven't read the novel yet due to the current situation we are right now, because we are another lockdown here. So many people around me have not read the novel, and I'm waiting to recommend the novel to many more people so they could read the novel. But yeah, I'm very sure people around me, when they see this novel, they are going to really appreciate it, because people who read these novels, most of them are in the character, like they are the characters in that novel. Though the name was changed, but people around me that read that novel, they will know their impact in my life through that novel, because many of them that were around me I put in the novel.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, your video is breaking up a little, so I just wanted
So
to.
that's it for that.
Yeah. But I mean, it's really nice to know that, your parents had this sort of reaction to you writing this book. I mean, and I feel like it would have been ultimately a good moment that, they realized some things. And like you said, it sort of changed your life as well, right? Like you want the writing to do.
Yes.
So that's really, really beautiful, and I'm glad that you were able to write this book and that your parents were able to receive this book. So I'm really happy about that. So what about the publishing process? Like tell us about how the publishing process with Ukiyoto was like for you.
Okay, I have to be sincere. This is the first easiest publication process I've ever been through. I have to be sincere. This is the first publication process I've ever been through in my life. Kyoto is really very, very helpful. Like they help me, and I'm willing to publish many of my work with them, because they help me get those words out there. They help me, what's it called? I did my novel. I paid them nothing, but they did a very, very good job. A good job that even companies that are being paid didn't do. When many companies are rejecting novel, Kyoto gave the opportunity and accept me. They accept my novel and made it something worth reading out there. And it was a very easy process for me. The editing, the publication, the everything. It was very, very easy for me. Nothing was made out for me, and I'm really, really grateful to them. I'm very, very grateful to them. And all the stars are so friendly.
Mm-hmm.
They take a lot of time to explain to me. No matter what it is, they take their time to explain to me. I'm really, really grateful.
Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to go through a good publishing process, because writing a book itself is such a big thing. I feel like the confidence to write a book, it is itself something that comes to you. Like it's difficult to bring that confidence, but also to go through with publishing it. I think that's a task of courage, and I'm glad that you were able to do that and that you had a good experience. So, well, talking about like your publishing process and the sequel that you've been hinting at the entire interview, tell me a little about like sequel, not just the sequel of Desire Play, but also any other books that you've been wanting to write next.
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Am I audible?
Yeah, please, can you repeat your question? I didn't get it.
Of course, of
You
course.
said I should talk about what?
Yes. So I was saying that you've been hinting about a sequel for Desire Play in the entire interview, right? So tell me a bit about that and
Yes.
any other books that you've been wanting to write.
Okay. The novel I'm wanting to write this after this Desire Place, The Word of Love, which I told you is going to be continual, like it's going to have the same inculcation and the same listening as Word of Love. As Desire Place, it's going to be Word of Love.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I'm going to be doing for Desire Play.
Okay.
So I'm not sure you understand what I just said, but I'm going to come again.
Okay.
So what I said is that as for other novels I'm planning to write, Desire Play as a continuation.
Mm-hmm.
Desire Play as a continuation, which is a Word of Love. And Word of Love, what's it called, is going to be released with Ukiyoto late this year, late 2021, most probably late 2021, because I'm still having difficulties continuing it. I'm not so emotionally prepared yet also. So I'm still having difficulties continuing it. But it's going to be like that also. So that's my other novel I'm working on right now. And novel I've always wanted to write and I've never been able to complete it was Unquestionable Love. The novel talks about love, not just about me, love in general, and love among people. I've been to so many other countries to experience what love is in the country. So, and that's why I want to write down about Unquestionable Love. So I'm going to put a plot down in relation to what is happening around me. Like I like to write a real life story so people can learn from it. People can have some moral lessons from it. And, I want to put my readers in a world where they will be able to, what's it called, rest and relax and be able to enjoy what they are reading. Like they'll be able to take from what they are reading. I just don't want them to read and just go there. I want them to gain from what they're reading.
Mm-hmm. That's a
So
really
that's it
nice
about it.
way of putting it. That's definitely a really nice way of putting it. And I, for one, am very excited for the sequel of Desire Play. I loved the ending. I felt that it was very fitting. But now that you're telling me that there's a sequel, I am eagerly waiting to see what happens next. So that's amazing. And on that, I think we've had a good talk today. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. Thank you so much for joining this interview, and thank you so much, Adepoju, for talking about your book today with me, and I hope you had a good time with it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really grateful. I do have a great time. Yeah, thank you so much.
Right. Okay. Thank you so much for joining in. And for the audience that is watching this, I am going to put a link for the book so that you can go and buy the book Desire Play, go through the heart-wrenching story in it, but also something that is so beautiful, so pure and so raw. And I hope you enjoy it just as much as I did. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today, and thank you so much, Adepoju. I'll see you later then. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.